I apologize that I did not get a chance last festival, which would have been the mono white one, I believe it was, or the white. No, excuse me, the red one, Perforos. That I did not get a chance to show that deck off that we built. But I did figure that I'd go through real quick. So this is the Nylea's Call of the Wild Festival. It's 2,500 gold or 500 gems to get through or to enter, and you can play it as many times as you want until the event ends. I think lost one time, I believe it is. So like 3-1. It's a really simple event, but I just figured to like put the deck out here. Just get an idea. So the thing with this event is that anytime you cast a creature with converted mana cost 4 or greater, you draw a card. And there are a lot of different ways to build a deck. This one in particular, I just wanted to do a mono green beat style deck. So I'm going to go through the deck real quick. It's pretty straightforward. It's more like a mono green devotion style list. Just no devotion cards. Except for Nylea. So we get 4 Pelt Collector. This thing, though it doesn't trigger and draw you a card, does get big, and it gets very big very quickly. We have 4 Paradise Druid helping you to cast your 4 drops on turn 3, so you're drawing a card a turn early, as well as it triggers the Pelt Collector, gives you some additional mana, which you'll need. And then we have 2 Nylea. This card is great. So not only does Nylea trigger the draw, but it also lets you filter through your deck. So if you draw a land with, say, the 4 mana creature that you cast a little bit later, you can still pay 3. And with Nissa on the board, I think I had one game where I filtered through like 6 cards. I was still able to cast a creature after that. So it's really good. It makes your creatures cost 1 less. So if you're able to play, say, Nylea on turn 4, maybe it's not a creature, or it's turn 3. Turn 4, you can still have something up like Pelt Collector, Nightpack Ambusher, Nullhide Ferox, because they cost 1 less. You can also put Paradise Druid plus any of your 4 drops. It's really, really good. I only played 2. It is legendary, and it's not absolutely needed. You want to swarm the board with as many creatures as possible. So, next, for Nightpack Ambusher, card's just really good. I still stand with this card. I think the card's great right now. It's a little bit awkward in a couple of the matchups, like Bant. So they're doing a lot of other stuff. Playing into Fairy Blue-White's a little bit harder too. But Flash style decks are still pretty good. I actually have 2 Nullhide Ferox. I only have 2 in Arena. You could swap these out for a couple of more. Nullhide Ferox is pretty good at being a 6/6 for 4. Some pretty good abilities. I particularly don't care because it doesn't have any of the other keywords. So this was this is Flash, and it's a lore to boost your team. Everything else after Nullhide Ferox at the bottom of the list here has something else on it that's really, really good. So we'll get to that here. It's 4 Questing Beasts. Though it is legendary, this thing you want to have. You want to have it all the time. They're small guys, can't block. Draws you a card. Can't beat it. Vigilance. Can't beat it. Haste. Can't beat it. Shifting Ceratops. Pretty good. Not so good right in this particular style of event. Everybody's trying to go quick and draw a bunch of cards, but Shifting Ceratops does a good job of providing a big body for cheap. Draws you a card in the event. And then, of course, you giving it trample, haste, so on and so forth. So if you have a Paradise Druid, if you have Paradise Druid and you're playing Shifting Ceratops on 4, that allows you to give it haste. If you've played a Nylea on turn 3 and you're playing the Ceratops on 4, now you're paying this one here. And then you have 1 to give it haste and 1 to give it trample as well if you, say, played a Paradise Druid as well. Next, my favorite, I think still currently my favorite card, or one of my most favorite cards in Standard. I think it's still my favorite card. Love this thing, Biogenic Ooze. So not only is it able to, trigger draw a card, spits out two bodies, keeps getting bigger. The nice part about this is Ooze also works very well with Pelt Collector. So say you draw a late Pelt Collector, the Biogenic Ooze allowing it to just keep, like, things to keep going. So whenever another creature you control enters the battlefield or dies, the creature's power is greater than Pelt Collector's, put a 1/1 counter on Pelt Collector. So as it's making creatures, they're getting bigger. As they're dying, it's getting bigger. Really good. Cavalier of Thorns, really good for filtering through your deck. Getting through a bunch of stuff, getting new lands, getting to where you need to be so you can cast 2, 3, and 4 creatures a turn. I like it. I really like the card in this deck. I actually won the last game, I think, with 8 cards in my deck. Because I had played all 4 Cavalier of Thorns and drawn that many cards off of all the creatures that I played. So really good. Also being able to buy back whatever piece is good against your opponent's deck. And then we've got Nissa, who shakes the world, of course, because this card's just great. It's amazing. It is the only non-creature spell in the entire deck. It's that good. So everybody knows what that does by now. At 24 is the 4 Fable Passage. The Fable Passage, you just try to thin out the land. You could play Castle Garenbrig since there are so many creatures in here. I just chose not to. I didn't want to have too many non-basic lands, and you know, it's kind of awkward when you're playing Nissa and Garenbrig if I don't know, you can't really ramp up if you don't draw any cards. It's weird. Although Garenbrig would be pretty good with Nylea. Another thing that I saw a couple people play, Voracious Hydra would be a good card, a good add to fit in here somewhere, especially since you're ramping so hard. And if you splash some red Grumgully, and I wasn't really thinking about that, but Grumgully putting a +1/+1 counter on everything is really good in this event too. Just gotta tweak some things to make it work. But like I said there, you'd have to add red to this. You probably get away with just a couple of mountains since playing the Fable Passage and the Paradise Druids, but there you go. So there you have it. Here's the mono green deck that I played for the festival, Nylea's Call of the Wild. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.